Jin will walk you through the ideas of specific currency. So Monday we are talking about Aussie and Kiwi, Tuesday Euro, Wednesday on Pound, Thursday, which is today, is on Yen and Gold, and tomorrow, which is Friday, will be on CAD and oil. So let me launch a poll to see if you are first time attending here. Yeah, please help me fill it up. So at least we will know how many first timer is here during this result day. Yeah, okay. So we have one person that's new here. I think most of you are quite new. So today's Thursday, so Jin will be talking about yen and gold. So I believe that this webinar that everybody that have already attended before is very beneficial to short-term traders and also long-term investor. So Jin will be going through like what the price could move and possible trade ideas. So a very important disclaimer that I have to read out to you all, that any information shared during this session is not intended to be trade recommendation. It's solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. So I'm Kenneth here. I've known Jin for a couple of years. First as a student, like a lot of you, and slowly I became a coach, and after that I become a business partner with Jin. So Jin runs LCMS Traders and Forex Briefcase, the managed account, a trading coach, $1 million trader, and he has been invited to on many stages globally. In fact, the reason that you might be here is because you have seen him presenting in some of the events and the course, or have attended the course previously. So let me launch a poll. I want to know, how did you come about to know us? Give me a second. Yeah. So I would like to know, like, where did you all heard about this webinar from? Like from Facebook Live, Telegram, Traders Club members, or friend shares, or from the meetup group? I have about 22 participants. Yeah, so please help me fill it up. Yep. Okay. So I'll pass over to Jim to talk about today's currency call.
Okay, let's get going. So it's the 7th of May, Visa Day here in Singapore. We are supposed to be on a holiday, but we are also online giving the. So my wife just asked me, "Hey, do you still have your currency call today?" It's a holiday. I'm like, well, forex markets open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, so we are still on, right? So that's one of the benefits I really like about trading FX, is really that the market's always open. You can always be making money, or if you're doing the wrong thing, you can always be losing money, which is also one of the reasons why I do this currency call, so that I can help you through your trading journey, help you plan your trades. We have actually through these calls actually identified quite a few number of great trading ideas. Unfortunately, I know that not all of you have taken up those trades. So my next idea is to how to make sure that I can share ideas with you, and also make sure that you take on those trade ideas through your own analysis, to help you make better judgment and take action to your trades. Okay, so that's the next kind of things that we're going to be implementing to help you through your trading as well. No point listening to me if you're not going to take action. Listen, analyze, take action, see that reward. Okay, so as we go through, as usual, there's a lot of regulars here. I see a lot of names I recognize. A couple of you are new to this session, so if you have any questions, put it in the chat on the side, right? The guys here will be looking. The guys with the spiffy backgrounds will be looking at the chat and also answering your questions directly. If not, then they'll highlight to me, telling me that there's a question that I will talk about in the charts, or explain further. Today is Thursday. So we'll be talking about the yen, US yen, pound yen, euro yen, and gold. So I call it the reserve currency slash commodity day. I think it's going to be quite interesting because we've seen quite a bit of move in terms of the yen. Bringing up the charts now. I know Daniel's going to give me a thumbs up because he's able to see my charts. Good, good, good. Okay, so I look at the currency pairs now. Firstly, on the dollar, on the daily time frame, just to make sure that we have the bigger overall view to see the overall directions of the move, possible bigger moves. One other reason is, or two other reasons, is because we have investors who are looking at this longer term, property investors, business owners who are looking at this, trying to manage their cash flow. So this information is good for them as well. And then also one of the reasons is I find that a lot of traders tend to over focus on the super small movements, right? So if you see a price jump by 10, 20, or even 30 pips, it's not really a spike up. It's a move upwards or move downwards. So try and get a bigger view of the market. Try and see the overall movements. Don't get too caught up in that small spikes, right? So on the daily time frame on the US yen, how I look at this now is it was sitting at 107.90 for a very long time. It seems to have broken that resistance now. It seems to have bounced off that resistance, coming lower. It's at 106.18 now. So over yesterday, we've seen quite a move downwards from the US yen resistance level. Okay, so what's the reason for that? We actually haven't seen much of a strengthening or weakening in any currency pair, but what's actually happening now, I feel that there's a lot of movements into reserve, right? There's a lot of movements into reserve now because of the virus situation in the US. I think Trump came out and said something like, they might have to open up the economy despite people still falling ill. So taking a bigger risk on the economy. So we could see some further slight weaknesses in terms of towards the US dollar. Tonight we do have some US news, and also on Friday night we have major US news employment numbers coming out. So I think people are slowly pricing in a little bit of a weakness into the US dollar, which is why we see some movements of weakness into the US dollar, or people moving into the reserve currencies, especially the yen, right? That's why we see the downward move. I'm quite happy that this actually happened because on the daily time frame, it's doing exactly what we planned. I'll show you that on the H4. So on H4 last week, I was talking about it. At that point, coming back to test resistance before moving down. It's taken a bit longer than I expected, but it has tested that resistance. Now it looks like it's trying to come down. However, I think that in the micro moves, slightly micro moves, we could see it move up a little bit. Some small profit taking, some small movements, people taking profits, people retracing back, testing that resistance again. Yen doesn't want, the Bank of Japan probably doesn't want yen to be too strong as well. So they're trying to manipulate or manage the currency to try to weaken it a little bit. So we could see that slight upward move before further downward movements again. So I do see further downside, especially to the US yen, the euro yen, and possibly the pound yen as well. I'll come into that later. But we do see that there could be further downside, especially with the news coming up. Is the ADP the non-farm payrolls coming up. So at this point, any question? You're all good? Samuel, give me a thumbs up if you're good. Samuel, looking at you. Good, thumbs up. All right. So US yen, you're good. I'm going to jump into the Euro yen now. All right, Euro yen has done fantastically. The last time we spoke about it, again on the daily time frame, I put a line there and I said, don't jump into this unless it breaks past this point. So it did break past that point and it has dropped significantly. Let me just measure it for you now. Over the past 2 days, it's dropped about 134 pips. So a big significant move. That was a very good. If you jumped into that trade, even if it closed here above that resistance, 120, 110 to now about 110. So you're already 1-for-1 risk reward on this trade. If you jumped into it after it broke below the 11591 level, right? So one good thing you could do if you really want to improve on your trading is jump back, go onto YouTube, search for LCMS traders, jump back into last week's yen analysis, which I talked about the euro, I talked about the US yen, the euro yen, the pound yen as well. Try and figure out or try and listen to what I was telling you about in terms of the euro yen, the triggers for the euro yen, what could happen there, and then it helps build your own analysis for the future as well. So if I cast my mind back, I probably said something like on the H4, at that point last week we were saying that it could go up, but then overall downside still looking for it to break this level before selling. So it's done exactly what we expected again. Same thing here because of my MACDs and some price actions bouncing off that small little level. I do think that we could see this go up a little bit more, possibly even testing that resistance again. So I would think it's probably going to go up a little bit before still coming back down again. So that will be something that I'll be looking for because, same with the US yen, I anticipate more downside towards the yen. So we could see it bounce back a little bit before coming back down again. It goes into play with what we spoke about, the Euro US, we talked about how the US dollar is going to move. So we do see it coming back down a little bit. Any questions on the Euro yen at this point? All good, good. So Andy had a question. Do you look at high impact news or medium to high? So Andy, for me, I do look at mostly high impact news. However, recently some of the high impact news has on Forex Factory, I don't know why they have moved some high impact news into medium impact news now. So I do have a list of news items that I pay attention to. So a very specific list. I don't look at every news items, even if they might be high impact. I don't look at them. For example, trade balance. Australian trade balance is not something I pay attention to, mainly because it's quite a long term economic number for traders. And also even investors that I know, we're looking at more the medium and slightly longer, not the super long term. So knowing which news to pay attention to is going to be crucial as well. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All good. All right. So I love what happened on Euro yen, but doesn't beat pound yen, right? Pound yen has been amazing. It's just gone to that support level of 130.87. And it's hit that line. It's hit my line there. You can check back. It's hit my line there, and it stopped. It's hit my line there, and it stopped. At this point now, I do think that we could see it drop further. However, it's probably going to sit at that line for a little bit before it drops further down. So we're going to have to pay a bit more attention to the pound yen. But why I love it so much is because if I jump onto the H4, right? So if we jump on the H4, last week we actually said that it could go up to this level and test that resistance. It did exactly that. and then it had that squeeze that move across before that consolidation, and I think I spoke about a possible straddle at this point. I think I had my levels at about there, saying that if it broke past that point, we could be selling. So that would have been a fantastic trade if jumped in, maybe a 50 pip stop loss for a 110 pip take profit. You already one risk to two reward at that point. So, that would have been a great trade. I do see that at this support level, it has struggled to break below, right? So it could bounce back up a little bit. Same consistent idea and bias with what we see in the other currency pairs. It could bounce in terms of the yen, US yen, pound, euro yen. It could bounce back up a little bit before testing that support level again and breaking lower. Right, so I still see that as a possibility, bouncing back up a little bit before it has to break 130.87 before possibly coming down lower. If it doesn't break 130.87, it could go back up. But if it does go up, I wouldn't be so keen on buying it up. I'll still be looking more for that downside move, because over the last almost 1 week now, we have seen the pound yen drop about 380, almost 85 pips, 390 pips, almost 400 pips here. So I wouldn't be looking for so much of a buy scenario here if it does bounce off this support. I know some of you now are thinking, wait, Jin, it looks like it's going in a range. All right, it looks like it's going in a range, so I could be selling at the top, buying at the bottom, making money both ways. It's gonna rain money. It's not gonna be the case. If it moves in a range, what you want to be doing is looking for your bias. Hey, my bias is on the downside. So as it moves in a range, as it goes up, I'll wait and prepare, analyze to be ready to sell it down. As it goes up, I'll wait, analyze, prepare for it to sell down. It's not buying and selling, buying at the bottom, selling at the top, hoping to make money both ways. So still have that bias despite it moving across. So know what you're waiting for rather than just jumping into every trade. Make sense so far? Big nods around, good stuff. So now that we've seen the technical aspects of these three currency pairs, before I jump into gold, I'll go look at the economic news that could be driving these prices higher or lower. Right. Actually, before I jump into the news, since I have this Traders Club open here, most of you, I know, bear with me, you're all Trader Club members already. That's fantastic. But I know there are a few of you there who are still sitting there waiting, thinking, should I join LCMS Traders Club? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be worth it? What is it all about? I'll tell you quite briefly. Firstly, it is $49 a month to join, or $199 a year. All right. So straight away, I'll tell you, it's a no-brainer. Join for a year at $199. It's less than $1 a day, a trading day, right? It's less than $1 a day. And the benefits to your trading is going to be massive. Why I say that, some of you came from the Signal channel. If you came from the Signal channel on Telegram, you only get the signals. You only get to tell you, sell US yen, stop loss, take profit 1, 2, and 3. In here, we not only tell you the signal, we also tell you why we get into that trade. So you not only make money, you also learn how to make money. You also learn why we get into trades. We tell you all the step-by-step process, the logic behind the signal. All right, and I can also tell you that the signals come out earlier in the LCMS Traders Club compared to the Telegram channel. So sometimes when you see it in the Telegram channel, the price might have moved already. Why is that? Because we fired it out earlier here. Last week I did a call about straddle, how to trade the straddle. So strategies on teaching you how to trade different methods. We did that recording there. We've got people who already started implementing that strategy. Yesterday, we did a call on how to draw your support resistance lines. I know a lot of you who attended last night, we finished quite late. You're on this session now as well. We talk about how to draw your support resistance lines. Immediately, I told everyone to do your homework, put up your lines so that we can check, so that coaches can help you check your support resistance lines to know whether you're doing the right thing or wrong thing. It's all there. Everyone, I love this, how everyone took action immediately, started posting their lines, and then, as quickly as you posted, we had our feedback there telling you whether your lines are good or not. What's going to happen next is coaches are going to put up their lines to show you what is the recommended line so that you could copy it if you want, right? So everyone's been participating, putting in their lines. Andy's quite active here, talking about different currency pairs, talking about coding. Signals are there, giving you support resistance lines levels, Jonathan with the levels there, right? So all that analysis, all that support, all the guidance. Kenneth does a 9 p.m. live where he gives you an update of whether what I talk about at 11 a.m. now is still valid later in the day. So, an update of the currency call. There's a trading competition that you can all automatically join. And it's a $2,000 cash prize. Every month we run that competition. $2,000 cash prize, withdrawable. So a lot of information, a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of feedback in the LCMS Traders Club. If you are not on it already and you think you are serious about your trading, you have to join. It's $199 a year. It's less than $1 a trading day. Joining it, you will make your money back in your profits of your trades. All right. So enough about LCMS Traders Club. If you want to join, go search for us on Facebook, LCMS Traders Club. Click join. They will send you the link of how to process and how to proceed with that. Jumping into the news. Thursday, today, we just had a bit of a Kiwi, let me have a look at that. Kiwi number coming up, slightly less inflation expectation, slightly worse than previous. Is not going to move the Kiwi significantly because it hasn't done that much. So for example, Andy, your question about trade, about whether I look at all important news or what kind of news do I look at, the Chinese important trade balance is not something I'll pay attention to. However, I will be looking at the pound, Bank of England pound, rate statements and rate policy and bank rate decision at 2 p.m. So, they've actually moved up their schedule. It used to be at 6 p.m. Now it's at 2 p.m. So, pay attention to that. That could move the pound, US dollar, although we don't expect them to be cutting rates or doing anything different, but the statements could make a bit of a difference. Watch yesterday's currency analysis because I talked about it then. US employment numbers, going to be terrible. Not going to move the market significantly, I feel, because what's going to be happening is we could be seeing it move more tomorrow. Tomorrow we have some bank holidays May Day bank holiday in the UK, and also Victory Day in Europe, right? So in the afternoons, it might be a little bit quiet in terms of what could happen for the euro and pound. Because of this, I do see that we could see some more movements in the US. US dollar will be trading. So as the non-farm comes out, we could see terrible numbers coming out from the US. Hence, a weaker US dollar. So we could see some fluctuations, and then a weaker US dollar moving downwards, as I had projected in the charts for you. Okay, so any questions at this point? I see the chat still going on. Andy, NFP live trading. Let's have a look. Let me find that poll. All right, so the last time we spoke about this, we said that if we get 30 people registering and actually attending the session, I will be doing a live NFP trading at 8:30 on Friday. So what I mean by that is I'll do this, I'll share with you my screen, trading my account live. Right now we have 1, 2, 3 plus 24, so we have 27 people who have indicated that they are likely to come. So we need another 3 more to say that they want to come. I voted no already for myself. So, those of you who have not voted, if you want to see me trade live, and also possibly copy trades that way, vote yes. You have to be a member to vote yes. No, Andy, that doesn't work. Tommy asked a question, pound yen, is it correct to say likely to go down further as chart shows lack of buyers the last few days? Tommy, pound yen, let me jump into that chart here. Let me jump to the chart here. I would say that it is likely to go lower, to go down lower. I'm not sure about whether there's a lack of buyers or increased number of sellers. I would say that it's likely to go down lower because of that sentiment towards reserve currency and also that sentiment towards a weaker US dollar. Hence, a possible move downwards, but it does need to break below the 130.87 level. All right. Oh, Daniel answered already. Sorry, I just missed that answer there. Any other questions? Andy asked what would be the sentiment behind this downward move for pound yen. I would say that looking at the pound US dollar, we saw that moving lower yesterday, so we saw that consolidation. I'd said that it would go up, but it didn't really shoot up, expecting that shoot up for Friday. So we said that it was consolidating. That was a straddle in play here, so it did drop, which led to the downward move in the pound yen as well. So what was that downward move? For pound, it was a bit about that talk about whether they could open up the market because of the virus, and also that they had to stagger that opening up and the impact to the economy. So that's why we saw that big downward move in the pound. All right, so I'll jump into the gold right now. A lot of people are interested. I don't know whether people here are interested about gold. Let's put it in the chat, right? Tell me, are you interested? Do you trade gold? Do you watch gold a lot? Is that something that you actively trade? Well, I expect it from the one who's in the gold mines. Yes, no. I've got 2%, 3%, 4%. Derek watches but not trade. Watch only, a lot of watches here. I need all the watchers to take into action takers. All right, so if none of you, only one person out of the few of you trade gold, I'm not going to be talking about gold then. Kenneth is laughing already because he knows I love talking about gold. All right, so gold, the last time I spoke about it, I said that it would probably be testing the 1692 level before possibly moving up again. So it's been doing that. It's still testing the 1692 level. Looking at it, I still think that it could be testing that. However, as we see the move, we see a possible weakness in the US dollar on Friday. That could be the trigger that bounces gold off this support level upwards. However, I do not think that say that level to it's not a great risk reward level trade at this point. I do think that it needs to break above the 1730 level before it becomes an attractive trade that I'll be interested in. Something with good, a very positive risk reward that I'll be looking at jumping into. Okay, Samuel asked, what are the reserve currencies? USD, JPY. Yep. Are they safe havens? Yes. Swiss franc, Samuel, Swiss franc is also a reserve currency as well. Not as popular or as super well traded as the US dollar or the yen, but it is also a reserve currency. Commodity currencies, Aussie CAD, Kiwi, WTI, AUD. Yep. Okay. Good. So I've rambled on. I've started and rambled on and on and on and on. Andy, no, I don't trade for swaps. So why I don't trade because of swaps or just for swaps? People could get into very dire situations being attracted by small swaps. So the payout to the swaps are not really worth that kind of risk. Okay. Any other questions? If not, then you take it away, Kenneth.
Is there any more question? If there's no question, I'd like to wrap up the session and really great, fantastic session that you have shared on the yen and gold. I really like it. And as we are coming to close this session, let me launch this pool. Yeah, okay. And by the way, there's a recording on this session will be uploaded into this LCMS YouTube channel. So if you want to see the replay or you have missed out some of the details in it, just go and watch back the replay and see what's the levels and the things to be there. So very happy that you guys have joined us, and see you tomorrow. For tomorrow, we'll be talking about cat and oil. Yep. And please fill up the poll for us so that we'll know that how you feel about this session. Thank you.
In the meantime, someone just messaged me privately. Do you think Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand continues downtrend? Look, Euro we talk about. I don't actually trade Euro Aussie or Euro Kiwi that much. So we'll talk about it about the Euro on Tuesdays. But for Euro, I focus more on the Euro dollar and the Euro pound. Daniel's messaging everyone to go join the Traders Club. That's fantastic because it's what you should be doing. All right, so oh great, we got 100% of people who love the session. So that's my first time hitting 100%. I have to take a shot of that. Oh, look at that. That's my results there. 100% approval rate. Even Trump doesn't get that. Alrighty, so take care. If you're on a holiday today, enjoy your holiday. Don't worry, we will be working still. So look out for more trade signals, look out for more analysis, look out for more support in the Traders Club. If you're not in the Traders Club, you are missing out. But we will see you back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Currency call, CAD and oil. Take care now. Bye-bye.